welcome to Miss Clark Reads to You. We are finishing up The Professor. We will make one more book, Brain or Heart Connection, at the end of this video. When Morrie was a teenager, his father took him to the fur factory where he worked. This was during the Depression. The idea was to get Morrie a job. He entered the factory and immediately felt as if the walls had closed in around him. The room was dark and hot, the windows covered the filth, and the machines were packed tightly together, churning like train wheels. The fur hairs were flying, creating a thickened air, and the workers, sewing the pelts together, were bent over their needles as the boss marched up and down the rows, screaming for them to go faster, go faster. Morrie could barely breathe. He stood next to his father, frozen with fear, hoping the boss wouldn't scream at him too. I love this descriptive paragraph that Morrie and Mitch wrote together. You can see it, you can smell it, you can taste it, you can touch it, you can hear it. The machines are churning like train wheels. The fur hairs were flying, creating thickened air. The workers were together, bent over with their needles. He could hear the boss screaming, "Get to work! Faster! Faster!" The darkness of the room, the heat of the room. This is what you call a sweatshop conditions. Let's see what Morrie's opinion is before I offer mine. During lunch break, his father took Morrie to the boss and pushed him in front of him, asking if there was any work for his son. But there was barely enough work for the adult laborers, and no one was giving it up. This, for Morrie, was a blessing. He hated the place. He made another vow that he kept to the end of his life. He would never do any work that exploited someone else, and he would never allow himself to make money off the sweat of others. "What will you do? What will you do?" Eva would ask him. "I don't know," he would say. He ruled out law because he didn't like lawyers, and he ruled out medicine because he couldn't take the sight of blood. What will you do? It was only through default that the best professor I ever had become a teacher. So what I particularly love about this is that Morrie viewed the way these workers were being treated as exploitation. So when you exploit someone, that means that you're profiting off the back of another person's suffering. So this boss, and remember, this was during the Great Depression. There was very little work. Not only was there very little work, but the majority of the work that there was hard labor. And so this particular boss, to make money off, or the most money he could possibly make off his making of fur coats, had a very small factory, and he packed all the machines really tightly in so he could get as many workers in a very small area that he would pay rent on. And then he just treated them horribly. "Faster, faster, faster, work faster or I'll fire you and I'll get somebody else." That's exploitation. That's treating your workers horribly for your own profit and not even having a conscience about it, not even thinking that what you're doing is wrong. And so Morrie makes a vow to himself, a promise to himself. He says, "I will never do any work that will exploit or hurt someone. I won't do it. I won't hurt people." And so the last quote before we move into the fourth Tuesday is, "A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops." And Henry Adams said that quote. That's our only italicized portion. So now you can stop if you'd like, make one more book, Brain, Heart Connection. And then we'll pick up on the fourth Tuesday. We talk about death. Morrie's lessons about how to handle the topic, the process of death and dying. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to reading to you and with you again. I hope you have a very beautiful day. See you soon.